Hello. Hello, hello. Hello, and welcome to Coffee Talk. It is Sunday, and I just came back from um, a morning of reflection and um, shopping with my daughters. Olivia and Charlie both came with me. We came home and we cleaned out the pantry. Olivia cleaned out the entire refrigerator for me and organized it, which was such a big help. And I'm going to spend the afternoon after this working on my business plan for my coffee shop. And I wanted to share a quick story with you guys about the cycles of abuse, which I think are really is really interesting when you realize it in the moment, because a lot of times you have to look back and see like where the generational curses have been broken, and sometimes you can actually see that you've broken the generational curse, that you've done something different than was done to you, and you catch it in the moment and you're like, oh my God, I can't believe it. So first and foremost, I want to say thank you to everybody who has ordered from State of Style. Supporting that small business does such a wonderful thing for me and for Mary. Those of you know, Mary is one of my best friends in the world. She is a single widow. And the money that we make from State of Style jewelry goes to helping Mary and reordering stuff for the site. I don't take any money from that. I just find things that I absolutely love, use, and believe in. And you guys supporting that small business is essentially helping support a woman trying to get back on her feet. And I cannot tell you how grateful we are. So be patient with her. She's buried under a foot and a half of snow. But orders will go out tomorrow, and orders have continued to go out. And we have, hi Candace, and we have reordered everything and reordered the eye patches and reordered the balsamic. And we have these great relationships with these companies now. And I'm so excited. We put so many other new things up on the site this morning. If you have not had a chance to go to stateofstyleJewelry.com and look through all the things, I wish you would put some stuff in your cart. My favorite mask to walk outside is there. It's a hat and it has a built-in face mask. I love it. That's up on the site. All of my favorite spa products are up there. Just so many great things. We have all new jewelry. We don't have a lot because it was expensive to order. But if you're looking for new pieces of jewelry, a new statement ring, I have my favorite earrings are up there. New hoops. You can go to the jewelry section and look and see at the stuff we have. Thank you so much. And if my nose runs, I apologize. But hi, Kira. Anyway, believe it or not, all of the proceeds from that company go back into the company or to Mary. So if you ever want to feel good about the way you spend your money, please consider going to stateofstyleJewelry.com. Anyway, okay. So, and you'll get a handwritten note from us, which is always great. And the Coffee Talk tumblers are amazing if you just want a Coffee Talk tumbler. Anyway, okay. So I want to tell you guys a story about when I actually, yes, Haley, when I actually caught the fact that I was breaking a cycle of abuse. And I want to share that with you. When I was young, hi Dana, when I was young, I was about 11 or 12. I had a babysitter that I loved very much. We were very close to the babysitter. And the babysitter had told me that there was another family who asked her to babysit. And I remember that my mother had made a comment about this other family. So feeling that I was in a safe space because this was my babysitter, I said to the babysitter naively and flippantly, because I was 11, oh, my mom said this or feels this way. And apparently the babysitter had gone back to my mom and told her that, that I had shared my mom's sentiment about this woman. And so the next day, maybe, or later that day, I don't know the exact time, I don't remember the exact timing, but I was in my bedroom with my sister, and the bedroom door came flying open, and my mother came in with a belt in her hand and beat the ever-loving snot out of me with a belt. No explanation for what was happening, screaming like a lunatic. My sister was crying. I was trying to defend myself. I had no idea what was going on, what I did wrong, where this was coming from. And it must have gone on for like a solid 3 minutes, which, by the way, doesn't seem like a long time, but when you're getting your ass kicked with a leather belt and a buckle, it's very long. I could still cry for the little girl that day. I had no idea. I was not educated. I was not talked to. I remember my sister screaming, "What did she do, Mom? What did she do?" And thinking now as an adult how fucking traumatizing it is to do that to a child. How truly traumatizing that is. And to the children who witness it, right? Now, let me be clear about something. This is not a pile on Susan. This is not a she was a terrible mother. Because there was a lot of good to her as well. But this coffee talk is about breaking cycles. This is not about weighing or determining or judging whether my mother was a good mother or not. But she was my mother, and that was my experience. There is no, maybe it did or didn't happen that way. That is how it happened, period. If people in my life don't like hearing that, well, I'm very sorry for them. Hopefully, patterns have changed. That's all I can say. I will say anybody tries to put their hands on me today I will break their fucking arms. But anyway, Jesus is working on me. So, anyway, the other day I was laying in bed with Olivia and I got a text from somebody who said, "Hey, Olivia shared this and I just want to talk about the feelings or the sentiment." And I realized that my daughter had taken something that I had said to her and repeated it in the street. Now, Italians are very about the family. It's all in the family. You don't speak outside the house. You don't speak outside the family. And that's how I was raised. Okay? I was raised old school Italian mentality. You don't discuss the family. You don't talk about the family. You definitely don't talk about the family outside the house with people not in the family. What? No. You could die from that. So, I'm laying in bed with her and I get the text and we're watching Gilmore Girls and I pause Gilmore Girls and I say, "Hey, can I talk to you?" And she says, "Sure." And I say, "Do you remember when you and I talked about X?" And I said, "Why?" She said, "Yes." I said, "Well, did you go to school and share that and kind of take my words out of context?" And she was like, "Yes." And I was like, "Okay, well, let's talk about that." So the conversation starts, and I'm explaining to her why it's important that we don't do things like that, because trust within a family is important, certainly, but also context is important, and things like that. And in the middle of this conversation with Olivia, I realize I am literally breaking cycles of abusive behavior. Literally. Because had I gotten out of bed, enraged, had I started hitting her, got a belt, pulled her by her hair, any of those things, it would have continued on. The cycle of abuse would have continued on. And the ironic thing? The ironic thing is that if my daughter, if Olivia called my mother and said, Mimi, mom hit me with a belt, my mother would lose her mind. She would be like, what the hell is wrong with you that you put your hands on that child? Isn't that ironic? Isn't it ironic that the way they hit us and the way they beat us, if we did that to their grandchildren, they would lose their minds? Anyway, in the moment, I realized that we can do it differently every single time. We can change the way we love. We can change the way we discipline. We can change the way we talk. We can change the way we confront, the way we forgive, the way we heal, the way we friend. It really is amazing how, if we are cognizant, we can do things differently, and we can teach our children a different way. Olivia will never know the kind of abuse I went through. She'll never be verbally abused the way I was. She'll never be emotionally abused the way I was. And she'll certainly never be physically abused the way I was. Now, I am not perfect. I've hit my breaking point. I told you guys I screamed the other night till the walls shook. I have spanked my children, mostly when they were little. But it's nothing like what I went through. Nothing. And it never will be. And I believe in teaching children respect, and I believe in teaching them to respect their elders and mind their manners. And in fact, when I was at Target today and we were checking out, Charlie asked me for something in the checkout line, and I said no. And she said, okay. And she turned around and put it back because half my cart was full of shit Charlie wanted, that, by the way. And the Target checkout lady commented and said, you have such well-behaved children. You should see the kind of stuff we see coming through here. And I was like, well, not on my watch. But I think you can teach children respect by doing things like taking their ice cream away as opposed to beating them with a belt. You can talk to them and teach them the right way to be a good friend and a good daughter and a good sister and a good brother and all of these things without hitting and screaming and all those things. Now, again, I'm not going to sit here and act like I never yell, because I do. But I just wanted to share with you guys, understanding that what was done to me was so traumatizing that it still hurts me to this day, and that I never, ever, ever want my children to resent me so deep-seatedly the way I carry resentment for the experiences I experienced as a child. I never, when I die, or even not even when I die, when I'm older and they're in their adulthoods, and I always want them to think of mom as a safe, loving, supportive space, never where they have to set boundaries and she's overbearing and she doesn't mind her business and she says hurtful things or she used to beat me. No way. All I want to do when I die is I want God to look at me and go, you used everything I gave you. You tried to help other people. You loved your husband until his last breath or yours. And you loved your children the way that you were called to love them, unconditionally, to the best of the human ability. And you created a supportive, independent, loving environment. That's it. That's all I could do. So anyway, I just wanted to share that with you guys. Tell you that if you too are healing from abusive behaviors, abusive cycles, verbal abuse, emotional abuse, physical abuse, and you are breaking the cycles, you've broken them, you don't do those things to your children, you are winning. You have won already. You have won already. And if you are mentally, emotionally, or physically abusive and you know it and you want so badly to be different, this is your sign that you are looking for, that you can break those curses. You can parent and wife and husband differently. You don't have to do it the way you were raised. You don't have to do it the same way. If you feel guilty about some of the things that you've been doing with your children, listen, you can do it differently. I'm telling you now, you can do it differently. And don't justify shit to your mind. Well, I was beat and look how well I turned out. Nah, you didn't turn out that fucking well. I promise you. I promise you. And I feel sick when I scream at my children like that. I hate that I get to that point. And I know it's because I need a timeout, not them. I need to decompress. I need to go somewhere and get my mind right. Now, I ground them and I take things away that are meaningful to them, like ice cream and telephones and all of that. But hell no, you'll never catch me hitting my kids with a belt or a shoe or anything. Never, never. And I look at the videos that my children make of me. And yes, they're funny. The twerking and the, honey, can you put this in the sink for me? And Lovey, we need more mango. And you know what warms my heart the most is that is really how they see me. That is really how they see me. Loving, supportive, lazy, you know, feed the dog, all those things. And I'm like, I'm good with that. I am really good with that. And if your children are grown and you realize that you have done some things wrong, it is never too late to apologize. It is never too late to say to them, God, I didn't know better. And I am so sorry for the way I spoke to you or put my hands on you or screamed at you or manipulated you. And I am so sorry. And please don't do that to my grandchildren and let me help you be better. It is never too late to apologize. Okay. I love you. And I'm going to go work on my business plan because I really want to open a coffee shop. And again, from Mary and I, from the bottom of our hearts, thank you to everybody who has gone to stateofstyleJewelry.com and ordered something. We only have a few of the salts left, the lemon salt, the garlic salt, so good. The best olive oil. The spa products are amazing. The hats, the warm hats with the built-in warm mask. It's so good. You guys will love everything. Go take a look and see if there's something. Anyway, thank you so much. I love you so much today. Have a great, great day.